So
Hello.
yeah, hi everyone. Cappy, Jack.
Can I
Hi.
do
Um,
my can I do my obligatory boomer question for the young people?
Go.
yeah, please kick us off, Cappy.
This has nothing to do with the topic of the show. This is just a question I have.
Perfect.
Since you guys are younger and you were growing up, did you always have to hit buttons multiple time, or was there a point in your life to turn something on, or for the thing that you just had to turn it on, like your phone? Like if you just hit the button, it worked, or you turn it on, it worked. And I'm finding that increasingly you have to hit buttons 3 or 4 or 5 times, or really hit it now. It is not just the idea that you touch the button and it works. Has it always been in your case you had to hit buttons like they were finicky? They need to be
Uh,
beaten.
Maybe you just need to buy new stuff. It sounds like your stuff's breaking, man.
Okay, all right. So
Okay.
you guys have experience where you hit the button once and the thing turns on.
Yes.
Okay.
However, I grew up with the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay.
Remember that bitch where you
You had to
put in
hold
the
it.
cartridge
Yeah.
and then you push the button and the light blinks and you put the cartridge out. You have to blow it and you do it again and you do it 20 times and then you can play the game. So I can relate to this
It
a little bit.
I think they are using cheaper electronic or metals in short, and there's not as good circuitry. And just this computer, I hit the button. I know I hit the button, nothing happened. I had to hit the button. Is a relatively new computer.
Mhm.
And I think it's just I remember the days when our buttons worked. Those are good times.
I remember those two. The
Mhm.
Super Nintendo fixed all issues. Just switch it on, done. Remember those days where you didn't have to download a game and update the console and get an internet
Jack,
connection?
don't even get me. Dude, I bought a game. Was it Overwatch or it was some game? This is over 10 years ago. I bought it, I put it in, and it just I was in a lobby. I'm like, well, what the hell's going on? Like, when am I going to be able to play the game? I didn't realize it was an online only game,
Oh
and
no.
was looking for for a game for me to join. And I was like, this is the biggest waste of fun. I was so pissed off, so pissed off.
Ah.
Um, my complaint now is that everything you have to hold the button to start. That's my complaint. Like your
Mm.
phone, even when you play like video games, do anything, you got to hold the button for like 2 seconds.
Mm.
I don't, like to turn on everything. I just press the button and hit start. Now I gotta hold it, and then if I lift my finger, I gotta restart the process. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Cappy. Maybe everything you have to hold it.
Yes, it would fall under that umbrella because look how what a ridiculous conversation we're having about what should just be you press a button. Now it's like, oh, but you got to hold it for 3 seconds. Oh yeah, you're right. I don't have it turned. Oh yeah, mine turns on, but then it turns off again. I got to turn it on a second time. In my day, you pressed the button, it went on. It connected electricity to the screen or to the light or whatever. And it is so bad. It is so bad. I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but it almost seems like it's on purpose to frustrate people with everyday things.
Well, this
Uh,
segues perfectly into the topic because
okay.
we were rug pulled by a tech billionaire wanting to get cheap labor from a certain continent and country in this world. People
Okay.
thought we would have a new reign of American workers and America first. And what happens? The B1 visas. And a lot of people are angry.
Is
Yeah.
that the Gervais effect or?
No, not.
No.
We'll get into
Okay.
that.
Well.
This is the
Yeah.
Musk effect.
So it's not only tech CEOs and all that.
Ryan's
It's
here.
like you'll have people for example, what was the
No,
other one?
Ryan's here.
Oh yes, damn. My bad. Ryan, in a minute we'll ask how you doing, sir. We will
Good.
ask you to explain the Gervais principle.
Gervais.
Am I saying that right?
Gervais, yeah.
Gervais. Damn it! I'm never
Gervais
gonna get that
Boucher.
right. Yeah. In a
Ranting
minute,
on the immigrants. Let's hear it.
yes, we're going to ask our favorite Canadian what the Gervais principle is, because Jack said that you know it better than anyone. So we'll ask. But today's topic is about why guys are so gullible. They keep falling for the Haktua meme coin. They keep falling for the Lily Phillips bang 100 dude. She's crying, so that means she's gonna give up her life of being a slut for money. And Elon Musk, all he talks about is his rockets and going to Mars, and suddenly He reveals that he's willing to do whatever it takes to go to Mars, and everyone's shocked. Along with other politicians, influencers, musicians, whoever, what have you. Everyone's falling for this. They get mad, and then they go to the internet. We complain a little bit. We think we can change these people's minds, and then we end up losing accounts, our livelihood. It's January 6th, basically, all over again, except online. So, Ryan, I know that you just got here, but could you please explain the Gervais principle?
Yeah, Gervais principle. Venkatesh Rao on his site Ribbon Farm kind of pointed it out. It was his follow up to the Dilbert principle. You know, the one Scott Adams where he said everybody's promoted to their level of incompetence. Mm-hmm. Gervais' principle was just showing how modern organizations organize themselves, and it's into 3 distinct groups. Yeah, sociopaths, the clueless, and the losers. Clueless are the ones that they buy into the mission statement. They're good workers. They're the people that keep things running. Losers, they don't mean losers as in like you're an idiot. They mean losers in the economic losers, the ones who are there because they don't have a choice. And sociopaths are the ones that largely use the organization for their own betterment. And the part that was interesting about this is that even though this shouldn't work then, like with the sociopaths wearing the business as a skin suit and doing their own thing, it kind of does function in spite of itself. And then he talks about how there's a different style of communication between them. Like sociopaths between each other use power talk, which is a whole thing in and of itself. They use direct talk to losers because like losers, they're no threat, so they can be honest with them. To clueless, they use baby talk where they make them feel like they're powerful. And then the clueless to users and losers or clueless to themselves do what's called posture talk, which you guys see a lot of that in this space where everybody postures as if they're trying to talk power talk, 48 laws of power, but it's really just like, look at my Lambo, or like every internet fight you've ever seen. That's all posture talk.
It's very overt for something that needs to be covert.
Yeah. It's overt. There's I think the big difference he makes in there is that it's not that you're posturing. It's that there's no stakes. You're playing poker with table stakes. Power talk, when you win a power talk engagement, you gain something. You know, you get the girl, you get the promotion, you make the other person look bad, something like that. But for posture talk, it's just nothing changes. People spurg out. It's the kind of stuff that Clary is just like checks out on because he's like, he has no interest in it. He's actually you wouldn't know it, but in this group, he would probably be the sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Happy is definitely a sociopath. Like his
I could kill all day. I'll day. I'll be honest.
It's not what we said, but okay.
Big words from a 5'7" man.
You know, it wouldn't be my arms that would do it. No. Anyway, continuing on, but yeah.
Yeah. That's the gist of it anyway. There's more to it. You're better off reading it. I'm not going to just recite the whole thing for you. That'll tell all the time. I want to hear what you guys got to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, to fill me in even more, how do losers talk to themselves then?
I think it's posture talk as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's everybody's trying to act like they're sociopaths, but they're missing the key ingredient that there's no stakes in any of their power talk.
So they're almost, how much, I hate to delve too much into it, but how much of that would be carryover from high school or middle, grade school or whatever, where
I don't know.
You're like, you're losers. Everyone, because I've seen it in banking and lending where every loser is trying to borrow money for a car. And every middle management asshole is like, oh, did you get your like a lot of acronyms start to form and a lot of bogus certifications and CPE and, oh, did you go to the pizza party? Oh, am I kind of in the right realm here?
Yeah. It's all like a lot of posturing, but nothing really gets accomplished from it. Mm-hmm. I think it comes from high school in the sense that it's just how human beings are hardwired to organize.
Well,
I think it matters. It's everything. Whether you're talking in high school, we could talk about the sphere. We could bring up every member in the red pill that you've ever met or talked to or seen online, and you could probably fit them within there pretty good. It's not meant to be fully descriptive. It's just meant to be it's like an economic model, you know? No models are good, but some are useful. I think that's the saying, isn't it, Clary?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like that.
I'm surprised Cappy hasn't heard of this. I haven't heard of it, obviously, because I'm not in corporate or economics. But
when did it come out?
I got it from Ryan.
2013, maybe?
That's right when my last day of real work working for someone else was 2012. And ever since I haven't paid attention. Yeah, like I don't. Oh, the new whatever. We're ground swelling, or we're dick sucking, or whatever the new managerial fad is. And oh, they're lying flat. They're lying up. I don't know any of those terms.
So and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong on this one. An interpretation of this is kind of what we're seeing now with what is happening with Musk, with what is happening with online brands, and like you mentioned, even in this space where it's like the sociopaths, they build their brand, they have the success of the brand, and they get these parasocial relationships like we see with Musk now. When Musk joined Trump, it was all like, oh, Musk will rein in the new victory and America first and everyone's gonna win. He
got baptized. He's not a whore anymore. I know.
Exactly. But then, so you had sort of say the clueless in the middle who are like, well, okay, the new boss, I guess. Hello to the new boss, same as the old boss. And now he kind of rug pulled everybody with his HB1 visas or whatever they're called. I'm European. I don't know exactly. And now you have the losers who say, well, this is unfair. He shouldn't do that. He should X, Y, and Z. That's how I kind of interpret this, where the sociopaths will always put themselves first, look at the system, look how it works, looks at how they could, quote unquote, manipulate those beneath them to further their own goals. And then you have the losers in the pyramid who now scream and shout and screech that it isn't how it's supposed to be. And instead
I would argue in this one, he talked to the losers like they were clueless. I think that was his mistake there. The losers have no, like, had he been honest, they probably would have reacted, well, probably just as bad, but better, right? Mm-hmm. It's like remember when Trump said back in the day, like, I know all these loopholes, I use them, you guys give them to me. Mm-hmm. And everybody like kind of respected that in a way, even though it was like horrific. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same thing here. He's like, no, you guys will love it. We're going to get the best Indians. And then everybody came out with their loser facts and fingers. And of course they're losers. They're everybody that can't get a job right now because white guys don't get hired in America, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I am correct if I would describe it as the losers are mostly the people who point the fingers and wish for should instead of looking at the playing field and playing the game as it is. They want to change.
Well, I mean, sometimes, like, I don't know how much, like, he never goes into depth on this. I don't know how much of a case of losers are losers because they've made bad choices or losers are losers because the game is rigged against them. You could make an argument either way. I mean, in this case, I would argue, like, I've seen what it's like in the States. If it's anything like Canada, the being a loser economically in the H-1B or in our case, LMIA, there's nothing you can do about it. Like the Indian. That's all you can do.
Would you say though that the playing field is okay, it could happen, but would you say that the playing field is rigged often against somebody? I always feel I always think it's more, and I'm not gonna go too deep into pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but it is a big thing where it's like, well, is it personally rigged against an individual? I don't think it is.
Well, like, not individuals. Like, nobody's out to get you. You're just in the way. It's like ants. Nobody cares about ants, but if you're stepping on ants, it's like, oh, sorry.
A boot has no quarrel with an ant. Nice Loki reference. Well,
is the game stacked against ants? Yeah. It's not the boot's fault.
It's nothing.
It's the ants' fault for being too small and ants.
Well, get good,
Paul,
right? Just get
Paul,
good.
To bring you up to speed, we're discussing the Gervais principle. Of like how in corporate structures there's losers, sociopaths, and then clueless. Ryan just explained it pretty well. I don't know. Are you familiar with that model?
Nope.
Never heard it today.
You gonna learn today, boy. Yeah. All right.
Basically, within a company or corporate structure, there is the sociopaths that they take advantage and they don't really have moral qualms. They just use people to their advantage. You have the clueless that don't know they're being taken advantage of, but they're happy just to be there. And then you have the losers that know they're being taken advantage of, but they can't. They'll whine and complain, but they really depend off that paycheck, so they'll stay there. That stability is what keeps them there. And we're talking this within the paradigm of like people getting rug pulled in crypto by like Haktua, Lily Phillips, Nala Fit,
Nala Ray,
Musk, Trump, any politician, the whole world, whatever. Guys really are falling for all these scams and rug pulls and all that stuff. And we're kind of talking about why and how, and then eventually we'll tie it to like positive sexual identity here at the end, but that's basically where we're at right now.
Well,
Do you have anything to add, Paul, to that, or any personal experiences?
No, I'm confused as hell right now, but I'll catch up. Just keep going.
All right.
So it's people
Sorry to
who look at
interrupt.
the date.
Jack and Ryan were having a really intelligent back and forth. Sorry. Continue, guys.
So I would say this also very much applies to guys who get the game. You got the naturals, you know, they walk up in a club, they get with Stacy, whatever. And then you have the guys who find Roosh, find Royce, find Ryan, whatever, Rolo, whomever, and they look at the game and they're like, you know what? I want to learn to play this game. Sociopaths are successful. I'd rather become a sociopath than a loser. Then you've got the clueless who, well, marry the fat chick. Oh, I'm married. I'm happy life, everything like that. And then you have the losers who
That's
go
that meme
online.
with the clip art meme with the guy at the grill, the bald guy.
Yes.
That's like, hey, did you see the game today? That's that meme. Those are the clueless guys.
Those are the clueless guys. And then you have the guys who go online where it's like, it's not fair that women only go for the top guys. Women should, and Horse should, and whatever. Those are the losers. Those are the guys who point at Nuke, me, and whomever and say, you guys lick the ice cream, which is a stupid analogy in and of itself. But in a red pill sense, that's how you could apply this.
That does make a lot of sense, because if you think about it, right, they're like, you know, the losers are complaining, oh, well, you know, women are only going for the top 5%. Well, that's because the top 5% are trying to figure out, hey, how do I win? How do I win this fucking game? Right?
How do you win?
How can I, rather than why can't I?
Exactly.
And so the losers just complain about it, and then the clueless guys, they don't even know that they're not winning, right? They're just
they're just happy.
This is
they
how
get
life is, right?
a promotion. They're just like, wow, my company really cares about me, or hey, Trump said this cool thing that I like. He really cares about me.
Dude, she says I'm better than all those guys she banged in her 20s. That's awesome.
Exactly, the coolest guys, right?
It's the guys who believe in the company rhetoric of the company family, and then they get fired.
Yeah,
Oh, isn't that nice?
Why is it that
Yeah.
each one of these groups kind of dislikes the red pill, which they all
Because
have
we're
their relationship?
sociopath.
Because
Well,
I feel like we expose the sociopaths, but we don't.
Yeah.
We're not mad at them. We're just like, hey, we got to copy these guys, right?
Yeah,
They're copy
game
Model the
recognizes game.
sociopathic behavior.
Yeah, and then the coolest guys, we you know, their little fantasy where if you know they bring a paycheck home, the girl will love them forever, and we expose that and they get mad at us. And then the losers, the black pillars, the incels, whatever you call them, they're just mad because like we figured it out and they don't want to put in the work. So I feel like the red pill praxeology, the people that follow it and use it, they have all three of these groups have a problem with them. But what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I think we're the sociopaths. Of all the three, where it's like we look at the game, it's like, how do you play it? This is how we play it. Let's go, and we're gonna win. Well, not we. There is no we. It's for the individual. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, people
wouldn't-
don't like the red pill because it attacks their ego investments. You know, it's like we basically are saying, hey, that's not how the world works. Yeah, maybe it should work that way, but it doesn't, and they just don't like that. That attack on their worldview.
I think what I don't think we're necessarily sociopaths as much as we are empiricists. I would almost argue
That's what
we
a
stand.
sociopath would say.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, if there's such a thing as a moral sociopath or someone who just doesn't give a fuck, right? Like you don't want to manipulate people, be in charge. Like you don't want to be a tyrant or some kind of CEO. Like I guess we add a fourth category: observant philosophers or empiricists. I think what I've ran into with that approach is people your losers do not like hearing the truth, and I think that's the sociopaths don't like it because we kind of expose it. You're like, yeah, we know what you're doing. The clueless, I have to go with that, where that is ruining their dream and their life, and then the losers is you're saying, yeah, you're right, but now that you know the rules, you have an obligation. So one, you're telling you're exposed. The other group, you're saying your entire life is a lie. And the third group, the losers, you're saying, yep, that's unfair, but those are the rules anyway. Now either participate in the game or stop complaining, which doesn't make red pill people popular among anyone in all three groups.
No.
Yeah, that's what. It's just we expose and then we kind of crush that fantasy, which is, you know, so there is the fourth option where you recognize all three of these groups and realize that like you have to lean more towards the sociopath side. You know, as much as your personal morality allows you to, you know.
Well, that's
There's
kind of
another part to it too, in that we describe subtext plainly, which is off-putting. So we're, I mean, in technically in that hierarchy, and it sounds, you know, like we're fluffing ourselves, but we're not. We're like the sociopaths in that sense, but in another sense, we're talking like we're the losers, because the losers, like, you speak directly to them. There's no power exchange. If this was subtext, we would be talking about feelings and whatever. Like Andrew Huberman would be a great example of this. He talks about the love and the feelings and the vibes and all that stuff. And what's he doing? He's fucking every one of his fans. Or Jack Murphy, something like that. We're technically in that camp, but we're talking like, what's his name? Ribby the Frog?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I see what you're
Does that
saying.
make sense?
No, it makes
Sam-
sense. Because we are more like in this aspect.
Well, we're not playing the game. That's
Exactly.
the problem. We're talking about the game. We know the game, but we're not playing the game. It's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And then we tell guys like, hey, you might want to play the game instead of cop out completely. You might want to take a page from the sociopath book sometimes.
Yeah. That's why, you know, some of the strategies we use in our dating lives, it's kind of repulsive to men. Like, we tell men, don't judge women on a first date. You know, act like her slutty past is the coolest thing ever. They're just like, what do you mean? Dates are for planning your future. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're for fun. What the hell? And they hate that. It's just because it may seem sociopathic, but it's just, we're just borrowing what sociopaths do, which is entrapment, get people to reveal more than they should, and then use it against them. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you get married and not end up on a Bad Billy Pratt post 10 years later, going viral because your wife revealed she was doing gangbangs.
Could it just be that we've seen the abyss and we're mature or old or experienced enough to say, yep, that's how it is, and you kind of resign yourself to reality? Because the mentally healthy people will resign themselves to reality. But I am somewhat sympathetic towards the losers because, one, there is a sense of justice and unfairness, like things should be a certain way, especially if they've been propagandized, like you do this, and that, and then peen get touched, and then 3.1 kids. And I can understand where they've been lied to and they're pissed off and it's not fair. But at a certain point, you have to say, all right, I'm not going to change it. This isn't going to change. So then you act correspondingly. So I don't know if that makes you a sociopath. That makes you an agent. It makes you responsible for your own actions and accepting reality. But I still a little like sociopath kind of has that negative connotation where someone might be
like, if
it's a clumsy word for what they're trying to describe for sure.
Mm-hmm. Like, let that go
and grab your attention, like dread or something like that. Just made to grab your attention.
It's like if you take away all the negative connotations of the word and just see it for what it is, it's the practical people. It's the people who, well, they look at the corporate hierarchy. If Mish could be here, that would be amazing, though. I don't know if I did see Mish in the chat, but he could give a couple of perfect examples of this in the corporate ladder.
Has he written about this?
Yeah,
I'm sure he wrote about this.
I'm pretty sure. For people who don't know, Chat of Arabia on Substack, it's good.
Yeah. He probably definitely wrote about this then.
Yeah. No, but even in corporate, and for people who've worked in corporate, they know where the managers and things like that, it's never personal. It's just you're in the way of greatness. And then you're disposable. Now, if that's sociopathic, maybe, but are they getting theirs? From that perspective, they're winning. Now, who are we to judge at that point? Now, if we're going to be like, we could go the way of the loser talk where it's like, well, they should care and they should keep in mind they have families and they should keep in mind, but that's not going to happen. So now that you know this, how are you going to navigate? Okay, what do managers really care about? Profit. Well, be profitable. What else do they care about? They care about likability. Well, not just be profitable, but be likable.
Don't be a problem. Like in the military, it's just, what do they say in the military? Be at the right place at the right time in the right uniform, and you'll excel. You'll be promoted. You'll do great in the military. And I was like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. But I followed it, and like lo and behold, I was getting promoted and more money. I'm like, damn, that's all I had to do.
Sounds like dating. Right guy at the right moment in the right uniform.
Hey, you guys want to hear something really sociopathic? You can actually convince yourself that by being selfish in the corporate space that you're actually helping other people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You can do that by, hey, if I get mine and like the whole, if we're constantly selling our widgets and our widgets are doing really well because of how hard I'm working or whatever, then the whole company benefits. And at the end of the day, that's a good thing. And, really get in alignment with that and you'll succeed. You'll get yours. If the company gets theirs, like everyone wins. See?
If you win, everyone wins.
Yeah, see?
Do you guys believe that like the appeal to morality, do you think anyone's ever gonna wake up? Because it seems like no matter what happens, every big social media event, it's like everyone wants to appeal to a person's morality. We have 8-hour podcasts where it's one grizzly guy trying to yell at women to tell them, hey, you should stop having fun and making lots of money online by showing your butthole
Cooter.
or whatever. Yeah.
Let's make it playful. Let's say cooter.
Cooter, yeah. I haven't heard that one for a while.
Cooties.
But it's just like, why do guys just not learn? Like, hey, you cannot appeal to people's sense of morality. You got to appeal to their emotions, money, but morality is like the bottom of the list. Unless you are a clueless guy at a company. Those are the only people morality applies to. So if you look at it in the big scheme of things, women are really the women that do the OnlyFans stuff. They're really some of the most sociopathic people, not because of morality, but because they know the game. They know that, hey, if I show up crying after banging 100 dudes, people will watch me crying more than they'll watch me suck 100 dicks. And that's impressive. Like, you got to give it to that chick. Like, she, like, marketing wise, she knows that the world is really tired of thottery, especially guys that aren't getting laid. So she says, how about I pretend or feign, like I fucked up. You know who did this too? What's that porn couple? What are their names that went super viral?
What's his name?
Oh, the Adam 22 guy?
Yeah.
Same exact thing. He acted like, holy shit, I regret letting my wife be banged by this giant black guy. And the whole internet was like, best marketing campaign. People are figuring this out. The sociopaths got this on lock.
Well, I can understand the losers being duped. Like, how much effort did we waste on analyzing Destiny? Or even discussing that guy, right? What a mark!
Damn it!
Did I steal your thunder there, Ryan?
Yeah, who's we?
I was just thinking of that video of him sucking dick that everybody was watching for research.
And people kept sharing it. I'm like, it's like the conservatives with the trans people. Like, they just keep sharing that. I'm like, stop sharing this shit. Enough.
Are these trans people in the room with you? Are they? It's like, go away.
But in other words, I can understand where the losers are appalled and offended and like, what the hell? The world's going to hell in a handbasket. But I think the street smarts, as the internet goes on, I think people are starting to wake up to it. Like right now, let's go back 5 years. Did anyone back then believe that the TikTok girls were real and they were that dumb and stupid? A lot of people did. At one time, I couldn't even. I'm like, what the hell is this stuff? And now I was like, oh yeah, you're just doing it for clicks and traffic. Or the more modernly, the Nala gal, the redhead who was baptized and born again and all that, and every sexless fuck went and gave her an interview on a platform. And oh my God, welcome to Christianity. She's like, oh yeah, I totally did it for clicks. I mean, enough times Lucy pulls that football out from underneath you. Charlie Brown ain't going to kick it anymore. So maybe I'm a little bit more optimistic towards it, but I think just the power of the agency that the losers has does not participate. One of the few positive things I'll say about anyone under 35 is they are lying flat and they are saying, well, I'm not participating in this bullshit. No, I'm not going to college. Go fuck yourselves. And so I see losers, people are starting to drop out and not participate in it. Or as you guys are saying, well, that's your only choice is you either drop out, say, fuck this shit, I'm not playing. Or like, okay, this is the game, these are the rules, fine, I'm going to play by these rules. And now you're upgraded to sociopath, or I'd like to say at least empiricist. But I can totally understand the losers because they're constantly hoodwinked and led astray, and they have a moral compass. I can't really fault them for that.
Yeah, it's tough because they really like this we and we should and appealing to people's morality that you don't know, that don't care about you. That's got to be a rough life, like that's got to be a straight, you might end up taking your own life because you just live within this paradigm of Why
I'll
aren't
tell-
people living like me? You know.
I'll tell you right now, I was miserable trying to do the right thing as an economist. Well, you shouldn't go into debt. And I'll tell every loser right now, you will either become a what's the word I'm looking, a misanthrope, or you're going to continue to be a dupe. You're going to continue to be a loser. You must become a misanthrope, not because it's edgy or it's cool or it's a popular thing. Most people fucking suck. And you got to realize, especially in the West, most people in the West are out for themselves one way or another. And so I think that would be the graduation ceremony of a loser to an empiricist / sociopath, is when you realize humans are misanthropes. And then seriously, think about it. If most humans suck, the logical conclusion is to become a sociopath. And Paul, I'll piggyback off of your morals thing. Well, if I'm doing good, then everyone could do good. No, these people are fucking assholes. Humans should be considered to be cattle, and you should take advantage of them because they're immoral. Now, if I found a moral culture where they had respect for one another, there was honor, say like Japan, I'd have moral qualms lying to the Japanese people. Americans, oh shit, give me that Oprah money. I'll lie to you motherfuckers all day. And I think that's the graduation.
Not the Oprah money.
I want that Oprah money. I want that Democrat money because it's the goddamn Democrats. But yes, I look how much lies are rewarded. And that should be kind of the slap across the face. Look how much Nala got. Look at how popular Destiny is. Look at the gal with the 100 men and 100 days or whatever the hell that is. They're all doing better than you, right? Because they treat humans like shit.
Sometimes it's not even lying though. Sometimes a lot of guys in the loser category or the clueless category, they have a lot of self-limiting beliefs around, let's just throw it back at business, right? They have self-limiting beliefs on like what their value's worth, what it is that their skill sets, that they could charge for. And it's one of the things I had to learn with my coaching in my coaching business and working with a coach myself, was that I was looking at my coaching practice from a very small, limited mindset. And these guys helped me sort of understand that, if guys don't invest more, they won't put the effort in. Like you have to charge more. So then I'm thinking like, oh, is this wrong? Am I a grifter for doing this? Sort of thing. And so then I had to wrap my mind around like, no, this is a very complicated issue that they're dealing with, and it's it takes a specific skill set to fix it, and that's worth a lot of money to fix it. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to. I think sometimes the successful people tend to either have to convince themselves of that type of mindset, or some people are just naturally there already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thor, welcome. I don't know if you if you need
Thor,
to be
you're already
up.
back?
Hey, can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, sir?
You're a tank, man. You're unstoppable.
You should be in your jacuzzi in the back, in the back of your house.
Dude
Or in the
had
sauna.
surgery on Tuesday night, wasn't it? Tuesday
Yes.
surgery. Rule 0 Saturday. Fuck you guys. I'm here.
Yeah, I needed a good distraction, so I figured I'd come to Spurgtardia and get a good distraction.
Welcome to Spurgtardia. We're happy to have a Thor himself here.
We are Spurgtards.
I like Spurgtargi. I'm going to steal that. I'm
Please
stealing
do.
that.
We are Spurgtards.
So Thor, you were in corporate in another life. Have you heard of the Covert principle, where there's 3 people within a corporate structure, which is they have the sociopaths, the clueless, and the losers? Have you heard of that?
Sure. I've heard it named several different things, but yeah. And they always like to use the IMGT or the Briggs Myers to try to identify them. And then they use a Venn diagram to overlap where they're most effective. Oh, I forget all that shit because it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, we were just talking about how like on a grander scale, whether it be it's like some influencer chick that Haktua coins people out of millions of dollars, or Elon Musk saying, hey, I love America, but let's import less more non-Americans here or whatever. We just it's like guys keep falling for this over and over again, and they don't understand, like, hey, you need to be more sociopathic. That doesn't mean go out and harm people on purpose, but you need to be more selfish, which is one of the core tenets of the red pill. But John, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. And I only caught a little bit of that, but I think a big factor in this is most people don't want agency. They don't want agency over their own lives. They want to give it over to someone else to be in control. They want the elected guy, the fancy fast talker, the girl with the coins going to make them rich. They don't want to actually be responsible of their own life. You got pigs at the trough, and they're just going to lap up whatever shit gets put in the bucket.
That's a dynamic principle for sure. I wrote a little bit about that in A Dominant Masculine Presence, that is actually used and used effectively, mind you. And people want those guidelines. They'll beg him for it. They'll beg for tyranny in many cases. They will fight others to obtain tyranny in order to feel safe and secure. Just feel, even if it's not real.
Tell me what to do, Overlord.
Yep.
That's kind of it, right? They're looking for guidance. They want that guidance because they don't want to think for themselves, because they feel as if making the wrong choice would be a detriment to their existence. That's a part of frame too, where it's like, make the decision. I have never seen a better representation than when I saw a father argue with his 2-year-old. That was because, the kid had an ice cream, right? And the kid wasn't taking a bite, so the ice cream was melting. The dad took the ice cream. The kid was yelling, so he puts the ice cream back. Kid doesn't eat it, so he takes the ice cream again. Kid starts yelling again, puts the ice cream back again. Then she again did not eat. He takes the ice cream. She starts crying again, and he turns around and he asks, "What do you want?" to a 2-year-old. And I'm like, just make the damn decision. And if she's not happy with it, well, sucks to be you. Sounds kind of harsh for a 2-year-old, but get what I mean? Where it's like, at a certain point, you have to make a decision, and the consequences will be whatever they will be. Doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. You have to own it. Own up to it. Like, okay, your daughter's going to be mad. What's she's going to do? Well, you should have eaten it. Well, you'll get it later. But the point is to make that whole decision and stand behind it through worse or good, however you want to.
Another dynamic I wanted to point out for guys that are like consume political manosphere slop, right? A lot of the times an event will happen. Like, let's say the H-1B visa thing came out. There are people that are like with bigger accounts that pretend to care. They'll be like, join me in my fight against Elon. And a lot of guys will be like, hey, this guy, whether it be, Cernovich, which does not enjoy having sex with transsexual women, or someone like that, saying, get behind me and I'll be the middleman. But in reality, those are also sociopaths. Those people do not care about their followers. They don't care about anything. They're there so they can make money off whatever event is next. Kind of like Matt Walsh, right? He just reads a teleprompter, pretends to care, and then the teleprompter slides over, and then a new teleprompter comes up, and he just reads it again. And people think, wow, this guy really is on the ball. He has his own opinions. And I'm like, no, like, no one really represents you. Only you represent you. And your beliefs and morals or whatever only are valid to the point at which you can use the agency to enforce them, right? And a lot of guys don't understand that, and they end up years ankle biting people and realizing, like, hey, I really don't have any agency here. I've been wasting my whole life appealing to other people's morality when I should have just been focusing on my own life and all that stuff. But yeah, just quick thought.
Great.
I hate Matt Walsh. He's such an idiot.
Yeah. Now it's like he's the conservative guy I beat up on because of those commercials. I'm like, he's just so easy to.
Ryan told me to hate him, so now I hate him.
He doesn't know he's being bullied. Like the super nerdy kid in high school. You're just like, you're ugly, and he just like, whatever. I have a 4.0 GPA, bro, and I'm like, what?
But let's take Matt Walsh as an example to a degree. Like, we might think he's a bit of an idiot, whatever. His convictions will lead him, whatever. However, the guy has more money than I will ever see. The guy has an audience larger than I would ever see or probably ever want. I can imagine his live chats. But is he winning for him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
money. First off, money is a
What
terrible marker for success.
Well, what if all of it? What if he is the sociopath, where it's like, I know what conservatives want to hear.
What,
They
you
want-
just getting that now?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Well, see what I'm saying?
You think the haircut and the plaid shirt was real?
Bingo. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
No days off, though.
He
says
doesn't chop
no
wood.
sick
He doesn't
days.
kill his food. he
Here's
doesn't
I
kill
hate to pay Matt Walsh a compliment in the same. Well, no, I actually do enjoy
All right, let's
Matt
get
Walsh.
Cappy off the show real quick.
Okay. Anyway, I have a lot more respect for Matt Walsh than I would say Paul Krugman. But both, I would say, are the empirical side. They both know how the game is played. How much do they
I would
actually?
agree with that.
Yeah, how much
Definitely,
they
I
actually
can
believe in it.
add
Yeah,
to
how
that.
much they actually believe in it. I think Matt Walsh actually believes his stuff a little bit more. But tweaking and poking the badger with the spoon. Ha ha ha! Get married, guys. It's the cool hip thing to do. Knowing damn well, you think he is unaware of the risks of marriage and the divorce rate. He's very aware. Paul Krugman, I would say, is the same thing, except on a completely whole level of evil. Lying about he is a very intelligent man if you've ever read his writing, but he comes to purposely wrong conclusions because it's popular to do so. And he's going to be a more successful economist than I've ever been.
Well,
Matt,
you got to remember a lot of these guys. This is the new entertainment, right? So these are narcissists. I know that word gets thrown around a lot today, but a lot of these people are narcissists, and that's primarily what the entertainment industry is. And it's just they want to become cult leaders. They want to never be questioned. You have to agree with everything they say, or you're outcasts. And they have absolutely zero sense of humor.
Jordan Peterson isn't funny to you? Just kidding. I just kidding.
You know, those guys, everything you said is correct, but it can still generate a very high level of respect. You can respect your enemies, at a very high level. And it doesn't take anything away from your opinion of who they actually are and what they present to be. You can respect it, but you need to respect your enemies.
I love
sure.
those enemies the most. I don't have a lot of them, but there are people I dislike but respect a lot. Where it's like, those are my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
you know
my
what?
point.
I'd love to put you through a drywall, but goddamn, do I respect you?
He
Kind of
learned
thing.
their
You know what I
lessons.
mean? You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, we'll never be friends, but goddamn.
But
You
is
did
he
it.
really your
You
enemy?
Hmm?
Is he really your enemy?
Nah, not really. At that
Yeah,
point,
fuck
it's
him.
more of a-
See,
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah, right.
Jack. I don't like you, and I don't respect you. We're still, I still.
yeah, we're still friends, you know.
We're not enemies. It's
Wow. No, but you know what I'm saying? We've always, I don't know about you, but we used to have this guy in my local, he was in the local band, sort of say, and everybody hated him for whatever reason because he cheated on his girlfriend or whatever. I just thought he was a pompous asshole, but I'm like, but I do respect you because you do get it done. He got his band done, he's got his music done, he's got his chicks done. It's like, you know what? I don't like you, but I can respect that shit.
I actually had that happen to me when I was working in corporate. One of the very big C-suite bosses I was working with basically moved me into a different position. I had a really nice speech, and he basically just said, I have the highest level of respect for you, what you do, how you communicate, the people you attract to yourself. But, just you and I just aren't a good team fit. And that was his nice way of saying, F you, I'm moving you out. That was the end of it.
I mean, that's
I
my
had
whole
respect
business
it.
strategy is too. Same thing. Like that. It's all these funnel marketers. Every guy that's selling the course on how to get the bigger dick, or what does the war room even advertise? Have dinner with the Tates, whatever. They all have the same funnel marketing strategy. And I'm like, why not use that and then offer something useful? And that's it. Technically, all of us at some point, every one of us that shit posts, we're stealing the same thing that Casanova Day Game or whoever the hell's out there nowadays is selling.
Life, math, money, or whatever. Yeah, the guy
all that
who,
stuff.
Oh, you don't
who
like
ships
Black
to
Math
America,
Money?
but posts his payments in American dollars. It's like India is the best country, but here I am getting paid in American dollars.
Oh, yeah. What was it? He posted once about don't use hand soap. It's like, okay, buddy. Okay, cool.
They always out.
Remember his one about staring at the sun?
Oh, yeah. They always out themselves. Rob is right about that one.
Raw
Yeah,
chicken,
I mean,
smoked cigarettes. Oh yeah, I remember all these ones.
Oh,
yeah, and
God.
I think, like the whole like soul bra nationalism course sun your butthole thing.
Mhm.
It's for a guy now, for me now, I'm just like, I used to follow that guy and be like, man, this guy's pretty cool and knows his shit. And he came out with the cookbook, and I'm like, wow, a book on how to eat pineapples and steak. This guy is so revolutionary. And I'm like, what about me back then thought, why was I so fooled about like this stuff? And I think it's what's the word? Like, you want to be accepted, you want to be part of a group too. And I feel like a lot of losers, they really really want to be accepted, and they buy courses in order to be within that in group. Like, hey, if I buy this course, I'm this,
Part of their
and
group.
I'm part of.
See, that's
Yeah, I don't
that's
have to do the work.
one thing that's kept me out of a lot of that stuff is I really hate groups.
True.
Yeah,
I hate everybody. Fuck
I
them.
know. Yeah, there's like too many people around. It's like, I
Mm.
don't feel comfortable. I'll Irish goodbye out the back door. I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'll disappear out the
Fitch,
back alley.
Fitch, maybe a bit of a weird question, but is that what got you into martial arts? Because that's more on an individual basis instead of like football.
Well, with wrestling, yeah, because I loved football. Football was my number one sport, but
football's fun.
you had to deal with the group, and
Mm-hmm.
there's so many idiots, and it's like one idiot, gets lazy on one play, and then you lose a game, and it's like, what the hell? It's like I had an awesome game, but this dumbass didn't block, and
Then you
now,
hate it.
yeah, now this one dumbass blew the whole thing, and now it's like, what the fuck? Like my career is kind of on the edge because now somebody's a dumbass, and he was lazy, and wrestling was just me, and man, I just got Flow Wrestling on the Fire Stick, and it's amazing. I watched a little documentary about a couple Iowa wrestlers, and I miss the culture of wrestling. It's so badass. It's so this guy Spencer Lee. He won a national. He wrestled a national tournament. Won the national title. It was his third title. He had 2 torn ACLs. The whole freaking tournament. He tore his ACL. He already had one. He wrestled the whole season with one ACL. And then the Big Ten finals, he won, and he tore his ACL, his good ACL in that. And he went into the NCAA tournament with no ACLs, and he still won. Like, that's just, and in an interview afterward, he's like, yeah, I tore my ACL at Big Ten, so I got no ACLs right now, but I wasn't going to pull out because, complaining of being a pussy.
I mean, that kicks ass.
Well, I was like, wow. I was like, I wanted to go out and go fucking run 10 miles,
Just rub some dirt in it and get back on the field.
Yeah,
It's crazy, man.
That's
yeah.
the interesting thing about.
badass.
I got
But
something
you
to say
don't,
about the
I
group
don't know. You
dynamic.
just don't get that. You don't get that. Like, there's a cool part of the team aspect and being a leader and doing things as a unit, but like, there's nothing as awesome as wrestling, man.
Hey, John,
I
didn't
agree.
you also get into professional fighting because of Rambo 3?
Nice.
Yeah, that shoot fighting, that was inspirational. I didn't even know like fighting wasn't a thing then. I was like, yeah, whatever. If things don't work out, I'll just move to a foreign country and fight people with sticks.
Best story ever.
It is. Yeah, the
Oh,
whole
you can
group,
make
the whole
money like
group
that?
thing. The whole group thing is an interesting dynamic, and I had a lot of
skill to have, but yeah, it's
I've had a lot of training in it, and what I've come to realize is it really actually requires far more maintenance on an individual level than at the group level to be really successful and long lasting. And that would go even for the groups that exist today in this space. They work well, but you have to keep things fresh and you have to keep personal connections going. I mean, I hate to even say this because it's not this, but it's kind of like this. It's like herding cats. You ever do a really strong panel show with strong personalities?
No.
Want to overtalk each other? You kind of have to have some kid gloves. You kind of have to have some MMA gloves. And you got to know when to use them if you are the group. And somebody is going to assume group leadership. Realize it's either going to be you or somebody else, even if you organized it. It's an interesting dynamic, and if you can do it successfully, it is a pretty beautiful thing to watch those people grow into their own groups. But typically what you guys said about the groups, I mean, like 80% of them are going to end up being that boring thing.
It is true because wrestling it's individual sport, but you still have a team, and you have to have a deep team squad of guys to like train and work out with. You got 10 starting spots on a college wrestling team, and you're going to need 2 or 3 guys deep in each weight class to be able to get that going. And you have to have good coaches who can get everybody in the same mindset and everybody moving in the same direction.
Yes, and there's a few masters out there that you can look at right now. Look at Jocko Willink. Look at someone like Charles Echo. You can look at Trump is exposing his game right now. So is Elon Musk and Vivek. They're very public right now, but they definitely understand the individual dynamic that couples with that group dynamic. And sometimes you have to be harsh. And when you're in that group and the group doesn't like your decisions, you got to know how to live with it and get out of it and pull them out of it in a stronger place. That is quite a challenge to learn.
I have more respect for a leader like Cale Sanderson, who's the Penn State head wrestling coach, and he's won I don't know how many national titles in his short tenure there. Like he's got like 10 or 15 something titles in like the time span he's been there. Like that's unbelievable.
Yeah. In the military, we call it embracing the suck. Like you just live with what you got, follow the leaders, even though they're stupider than you. And, eventually you'll get out or get sent to another command. Well, hopefully it'll be better. And that's the best you got. Honestly, my father, he taught me a lot about how to navigate the system and be more like a sociopath. My dad takes advantage of the tax code. He told me working more and sacrificing more does not mean that you'll be happier. Work less, work smarter rather than work harder. There's a lot of talk, especially in this place called the Manosphere. I don't know if you guys heard it, where like you just have to work hard, and that's just an abstraction. What do you mean work hard? Like put in more hours, lift 405 deadlift, or like talk to 100 women a week? What does work harder mean? And really, the conversation should be work smarter. Like that's why that's probably why a lot of people like Cappy, because Cappy's like, here's the bullshit that's gonna make you work harder. Here's how to work around it, and that's what people need right now. The CEOs
but Cappy also does say to work harder, right? He says do it right the first time, right? Like,
well, no, there's.
Well, you have to care, but just not work and like work intelligently. Your hard work in the right direction.
That man right there, he advised me to get a government job and do jack all shit for money. Him right there.
Yeah,
that's my dad.
Are you praising him or mocking him?
Well, yeah, I'll let you guess.
Both.
I'll let you guess.
It's always both. Cappy.
Well,
they got a good retirement on the back end.
Again,
there is something to be said about working smarter and working harder, and then occasionally do something stupid and bold, because those people win. And if you make the mistake, you learn from it.
I would say for everyone listening, it's more important to diagnose the reality around you so you know what is the best decision. And at a certain point, you almost throw morals out of it.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example where I fucked up. Okay. Do you guys have any idea how much wealthier I'd be if I just approved all those loans back during my banking days? Like,
would you though? Because would you have written all the books?
Well, that's a good point. I'm just saying you have to realize that you didn't come up with these rules. You didn't come up with the psychopathic way a company is ran or the labor market works or how women date. You didn't come up with it, but you have to assess and realize that's how it is in the real world. As I said before, you have a choice. You don't have to participate, which I guess would be black pill or whatever. I would almost call it self-respect. But if you are going to play, and especially when it comes to work, you have to play. You got to work. You got to eat, unless you're a Democrat and you live on welfare. But if you do have to play these games, and you're not the one who put these rules there. This is where if girls respond to a guy that treats them like shit and is aloof and lies, I didn't make that. Even to this day, I'm sure you guys still have a little bit of a reservation about treating women, not abusively, but poorly, right? I don't want to treat a girl. I don't want to stand a girl up. I don't want to play these fucking games. Too fucking bad. Those are the rules. And so there's a little bit of liberation where it's like, well, I didn't come up with the rules, but now that I know what the rules are, and there's no moral culpability on my part because I didn't set these fucking rules. Yeah, you know what? I am going to collect disability. Or I am going to go and lie on my resume. I am going to go like hire Alex over academic composition and have him do my homework.
Use AI for everything.
Yeah, I am going to.
That is the only one I still disagree with, where it's like, nah, man.
But it's kind of the truth shall set you free. That really does have application here. If you're a loser, I mean, God Almighty, just being frustrated alone for all these years, like it isn't the way it's supposed to be. Like you look at these old guys who are on their third marriage now, like what the fuck?
The AI thing, though, the AI thing, real quick, the AI thing has such a low barrier to entry to use that the market will be oversaturated with AI content.
Do you know what the barrier for AI content is, though? It's personal morality, right? Because guys know that you can fake being an influencer using AI apps.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that's wrong, that's lying. And I did it at a salsa night. And I had 2 girls twerking behind me, just dancing. They're like, oh my God. And I'm just like, this is too much power. Like I close the app and I'm like, this is too much.
Hold on.
I'm talking like actual content, like products and things like that. The beauty of that is that the barrier to entry to the usage of like a chat GPT or whatever, that barrier to entry is very low. And you see that on Substack right now, that a lot of people are using AI, but they get shit for followers and shit for content because it all looks alike. That AI usage market is going to be so oversaturated because people don't want to learn how to write.
Yeah,
and that's where you get like
there's
Ryan who's showcasing this book.
I would argue there's a smart way of doing it and there's a lazy way of doing it, and I think the people that are smart about it are probably going to do well.
Yeah, like for example, if you write something and you say ChatGPT proofread this article, it's going to change almost all the words that are like mean words and kind of it gets rid of your writing style. But if you say ChatGPT proofread this and you fed the AI like your writing style, it understands you. Like I think Amish talks about this, like train the AI, and then you say don't change any words, just fix any grammatical errors. Then you're actually like using the AI intelligently, and you're putting like there are tools out there that it feels immoral to use, right? But for example, like I was saying, tricking women into thinking you're an influencer using AI, right? If you use that intelligently, like go to a place where people don't know you, like some pool party, and you have girls flashing the camera and all that stuff, and then you take a girl home or whatever, that's using it intelligently, right? But if you take it to a place where people know you and they're like, dude, why are you doing? And then you get exposed, it's just like you're being stupid. So I think ultimately with tools like AI or whatever, you just have to. It's always intelligent people are always going to.
The way you describe it is that you still have to write it yourself. The only thing you use AI then for is for spell check and whatever.
Yeah, for you example, Jack, like you do a lot of Substack. Like let's say you wanted to take all your Substacks and compile them into a book, and you didn't have a lot of upfront money to hire someone like Nick to edit it for you. I mean, you could just use AI to do the editing for you. You know what I mean? Like that would be a smart way of doing it.
Take out a loan for Nick. Nick's good. It's like, I'll sell the house.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like there's smart ways of doing it that fits within your own moral compass, right? Like it's like red pill, right? Red pill, we take morality out of it, but there's no reason why you can't take the base and apply your own morals on top of it. It's about what's best for you. So,
it's not a moral thing. I would say, like, if it works for you, then do it. Absolutely do it. I used to talk to Nick about this a lot, where it's like, okay, how afraid should writers actually be of AI? He's like, not at all, because there's things AI can't do that humans can, and that's that wit, that's that snark, that's that metaphorical
the voice.
Essence.
The voice.
Exactly.
It sounds like journalist students.
Yeah. AI will never be able to write like Chateau Artiste ever. Like there will never be an AI Chateau Artiste. It's impossible. I think, but I'm naive to
what I mean with what you see now on Substack. A lot of AI writers, they don't have that voice, and you see people, like turning away from that, where it's like, oh, you're the same as that guy, and the same as that guy, and the same as that guy, and it's like Ryan and Nick and Kolbuck. Kolbuck's good at writing too. Mish. You see them stripper as well. You see them. It's centralizing more on those accounts.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like taking a Cappy stream, a Cappy 2-hour rant stream, and then saying, "Hey, make this into an article." You would be like, "This is not Cappy." They're like, and you could sell that, but like, people really truly come for the angry rants on Cappy's channel. You know,
Believe
like,
it or not,
do.
people want the human interaction. They don't
Right,
want
I
the AI
think-
derivative. They don't
Yeah.
want the digital, what's it called? The parallel relationship with a girl on a webcam. I mean, they might settle for it. But that again, that's why I could kind of understand the losers. The losers want to have a reciprocal investment from their fellow humans. They want a fair deal and counter investment from their other humans. But they're not going to get it. And look to the extent that we will create. Didn't Facebook just say they're going to come up with AI influencers?
Yeah.
And AI accounts? It's like, my God, that's sociopathic. That's some
Cappy,
fucked up shit right
Cappy,
there.
Did you see, by the way, that women will be the largest demographic in usage of sex robots instead of men?
How did they figure that? Like, I made that prediction. in jest.
I mean, are we considering like vibrators?
There's a
That's
Black
who I
Mirror
think-
episode about it too. There's a full-on Black Mirror episode like 5 years ago that got released about this.
Okay,
Dude, there was a Ray Bradbury theater that was about this like 30 years ago or 40 years ago in the 80s. Claire, you might remember this. You're old as shit. Remember the one where the guy had a robot wife, but then he fell in love with the real girl, and then the robot wife tried to kill her, and he had to kill his robot wife to win back the real girl?
Was this a Twilight Zone episode?
No,
or
Ray
something?
Bradbury theater. It was like, Twilight Zone. Ray Bradbury theater was the other one.
Nope, didn't remember that one, but it plays. Yeah, it makes
Damn, we need
complete
Rollo. I need somebody in like his late 50s for this one. Damn it.
So they made it.
60.
They did make it. They just did a remake. I want to say that it might be
with
on
Megan
Netflix.
Fox?
I want to say that it might be where they get the robot made, and then the maid start. He bypasses her programming just to say, I want you to be loving like my wife, and essentially she does. But the wife has horrible jealousy, so the wife essentially becomes a fatal attraction. That's the long and the short of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the Megan Fox one. Yeah, but it turns out that women are given to be the largest demographic of users for sex robots. I'm like, Jesus. Even Stripper was like, yeah. As a guy,
you're gonna need a robot that's strong enough to handle the weight.
well,
Yeah,
fair.
you need one
I
of
see
those,
what you did there. Yeah.
Hey.
Lots of springs. Lots of springs.
Hydraulic, you need hydraulic lift.
Well, that kind of does make sense because women are always buying those crazy jackhammer dildo.
Yeah, like turbo,
devices and shit.
like 4-speed, like
Oh,
5 horsepower.
I have
Yeah.
a meme for that. I have a meme for that. Hold up.
Sweet.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
You know, one way that we sort of devolved into this AI topic, but I use AI a lot for my show notes on my
I know.
podcast because it's easier to get AI to write out a whole bunch of bullet points for me to save time. And then, I mean, I've studied the shit backwards and forwards for the last several years, so I can talk to Jesus Christ.
That's used to break cement. That's like for breaking up concrete. Jesus Christ.
Not anymore.
No, that's for clam rattling, bro.
Jesus Christ.
But like,
Is your,
but yeah,
is
so
your
I mean,
clam calcified? Get the 9,000.
so I get show notes that just give me talking points, and then I can just naturally flow off the talking points, and then I have my human element to it. So that's one way that I tend to use it, and it saves me a lot of time. So
Yeah, well, guys are like, AI is like, again, the barrier of entry is your own morality and your own pride in your work, right? There are guys that are using AI for dating, for business, for writing code, for everything. And only the smartest people or the most intelligent people are able to catch it. Like the clueless people, they'll see an AI article or an AI dating profile or a AI code, and they'll be like, "Wow, this is really good."
How you used AI. That was clever. Respond to this text in therapy speech. It's like,
oh
geez,
yeah, that's what I did to that girl. I said, "Hey." Yeah, I just say, this girl's like, I don't feel like you're putting an effort. And then I just said, using therapy language, respond to this saying that I don't see effort from her either, but I want this to work out. And I got to have sex with her 2 more times. But that's not the that's not the point here. The point here is that like as a guy, it could like, especially as a guy that's learning to write and all that stuff, you see people that are getting by writing the same stupid stuff. I read articles and all that stuff, and I'm just like, but they have more followers, they're winning. I see guys making crap content and they have more followers and they're winning and all that stuff. But at the same time, what did they have to do to sacrifice to get to that point? And do I want to do that? So am I mad because they have less morality and less fucks than me? Or am I mad because the less fucks I give, the better I do in life? Like, I guess I don't know, but it's just a question I ask myself all the time. And I guess you could apply it to like anything. Politicians, like, is Elon winning in life because he's more sociopathic than the American people thought he was? Is Lily Phillips winning at life because she knows how to fuck with conservatives to get them to watch the documentary more than the sucking of the 100 dicks? We don't know. And honestly, like, as a guy, you got to play the game, but just because you're not going full sociopathic, I don't think that means you're also a loser or a clueless. It just means like, hey, I personally am not going to delve in this territory. So, I guess every man has
If
to
it makes
decide for himself.
Wait, Nuke, hold up. So you're telling us, Nuke, you are not going to suck 1,000 dicks for content?
$20 is $20. Multiply that by 1,000, though. I can pay Nick August to edit my future book if I do that. So if I go by Cappy's numbers, I could pay Nick August, right? More or less.
We kind of already have the answer with John. John, wasn't it a pain in the ass that you had to do all the promotions and drama and beefs and all that when you were in professional fighting? I mean, you've complained about that before. You have to put on a face to do the sociopathic shit.
Well, that was a big reason why the promoters didn't like me, because I didn't really want to play that game. I was a wrestler. I wanted to take the wrestling approach to it. I think wrestling is a superior sport. Like, I didn't want to placate to the idiots and the dumbasses to do pro wrestling crap. And I was like, if you do that crap, you're going to get that fan base, and I don't want those people around. And then now that's what we have. And MMA is almost impossible to watch. Like, you got to turn all the volume off. You can't listen to this stuff. I can't read any of the articles because it's all just like TMZ pop drama garbage. And I just want to see the fights.
I mean, imagine trying to be Bob Iger, president and CEO of Disney right now. All right. Yeah. Okay. You're a sociopath. Yeah. You got more money than God. God, you couldn't pay me enough. Or even worse, like Nancy Pelosi. Like, it takes a tax on you. I don't think any of these people are happy where you play the game for long, where you got to put on an act all the time, all the fucking time. I think if you pull it off right, say like Oprah, you make your billions and you get the hell out and you kind of retire. Okay. But it's I don't envy these people. Like, again, would any of you trade spots right now with Destiny? Like, look at that guy's work schedule.
He's probably getting banged by a dude. No.
Well, banging by dudes aside, just I gotta go on. I gotta do this shtick. I gotta do this spiel. I gotta act like somebody. I gotta say truly stupid things on the internet to get the clicks. You're a slave to popularity and money and whatever the grind is to keep up that facade. No way, man. No, I just there's no way I'd want to do anything like that.
No, you don't want to suck 1,000 dicks, Cappy. You sure?
No, I don't.
You sure?
That's not even the worst part about it, though. The worst part is he has to pretend he knows what he's doing at all times, and he's got that cocaine jaw lock. Like, he can't even deal with it. His wife left him for a twink. His beau left him to do that Playing with Fire podcast. Like,
what was it again? What did Rolo say?
He refuses to get zeroed out. I've never seen someone fight so hard to get zeroed out. I'm like, dude, just get zeroed out and move on. Like, it's not. I mean, it's bad, but like we've all been there, bro. Like, just let it go. He's just like, no, I gotta keep debating myself deeper into the hole. I'm like, okay, dude, sure. Enjoy your
keep digging, dear. We can still see you.
Enjoy the dicks and all that stuff. I guess you're really testing your audience here. You're testing your audience with. But yeah.
Oh wow. Talk about parasocial relationship. No, my YouTuber is right. He isn't depressed. He's awesome. He keeps telling us he's awesome.
Maybe he's just agreeing and amplifying, trying to pass our shit tests.
Every time he's like, hey, you suck the dick. He's like, watch me suck 5.
Exactly.
Well, that's like, remember, you guys ever been a bully or been bullied? I'm sure one of you have done one or the other.
Every
you ever seen that one kid, though? Yeah, have you ever seen that one kid that got bullied that just leaned into it, and then the guys wasn't fun to bully him anymore? Like he's like, "You're right, I am retarded," and then all the bullies kind of felt bad for him. They're like, "Oh, you're weird," and then he just left.
Yeah.
That kind of coping strategy is how Destiny is marketed his brand. It's my opinion, anyway.
But it just doesn't work.
I mean, it works for a little bit.
for him. It gets worse.
It does work because then people are like they're not getting a reaction out of you. It's the same reison why agree and amplify works. It's because people want a specific reaction. When you don't give it, they're like, oh, fuck it. I guess this is a waste of time. I'll go pick on
agree and
someone else.
amplify is charming. Destiny isn't charming,
But it isn't agree and amplify with like words. It's with action. Like Lily Phillips is like, I'm so sad. 1,000 more. Let's do it. That's agree and amplify. Elon Musk was like, Elon Musk did this. Someone said, hey, we need to import, 169,000 more Indian people, right? And Elon Musk was like, no, let's double that. We need more than double that on the next tweet. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, you didn't even try to like say, hey, we need a little bit more. He said, double it and give it to the next person. And I'm just like, Jesus, man, like that's that Destiny double down dick Tuesday.
What's that thing? What's that thing you and I said on Kyle's stream where it's like, Elon should have given us a blowjob before taking us to IKEA.
Yeah, that's what he should have deported 20 million people, and then he would have said, hey, let's get some of these guys in, and people would bitch, but they'd be like, yeah, but like all the Venezuelans that are like taking over apartments are gone, so okay, sure. You see, like people want to be charmed, they want to be manipulated, and if Elon Musk would have been more political, which he is not, he is a tech nerd, he would have been like, people want him to be like Trump, where Trump knows how to sell things to people because he's a businessman. Elon knows how to create stuff and make memes. So when a tech guy says, hey, we need this solution needs to happen, in my view, people are like, wait, you have to do the thing first. You have to sell it to me. Like deport 10 million people and then we can bring in 100,000 people.
Loop me up, take me out to dinner before you fuck me.
Hey, I'm a little slow with this, but I got something I want to share on the screen.
Okay. Oh, there it is. I didn't see it. It was on the bottom here. Shit.
I agree with this sentiment.
Still the best CGI I've ever seen in a movie for is Terminator 2.
Oh yeah, wasn't like how many of it was practical effects though? Of course, not the fluid one, but like with Arnold and the arm.
They mix it all up. That's it's hard to tell. Same as Lord of the Rings did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that movie is made 25 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
1985 turned 40 years old.
Damn.
Oh, jeez. It was the best movie if you didn't have a dad. That was like the best movie if you didn't have a good relationship with your dad, because everyone
Terminator
wanted
2?
Yeah, because Terminator 2 he went good. He turned good, and he became like the father figure. He became cool, like riding motorcycles.
Stuff, baby.
Ryan, what's that theory or metaphor you have again for Terminator 2 about the single mom?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a story about a single mom trying to find the perfect dad for her kid. The guy who doesn't want to have sex with her, and he'll sacrifice himself for the kid.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what
It's
happened.
the total phone.
That's a robot. That's why women are going to be banging the sex
Yeah.
robot.
My childhood is a lie.
Predictive
Even
programming.
though I had a dad, but
Most of the good sci-fi we grew up with is all woke stuff. You just never thought about it. Like Deep Space Nine is the one I'm on now, where I'm telling people it's like,
Yeah, I learned
this is all
about
the same
how
woke stuff. It's just written well.
Fight
Total
Club,
Recall?
I learned about how Fight Club's all just about a gay guy coming to terms with him being gay.
What?
Whoa, damn,
Really?
this is crazy.
What?
That wasn't like a film
Right.
school major's, thesis.
No, like the guy who wrote it was a gay dude, and he's basically just telling everybody, "Hey, I'm coming to terms with being gay."
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, the directors of The Matrix are
Troons now.
male to female. Yeah, both of them male to female. So it's like
Mm.
theater kids. Am I right? Theater kids.
Well, back when they produced good shit, yeah, theater kids. Now it's just, it's just a bunch of whiny, cryy adults.
Anyways, guys, I think we've beat this dead horse enough. I'm glad that I was able to bring in some high IQ people to talk about this, because
Don't forget Jack
I don't know
too,
what
though.
my IQ is, but it's probably not as high as like Cappy's or Ryan's or something. But final thoughts, and then what do you guys have? I know a lot of you guys, Ryan's got a lot of stuff coming out, or already has come out. All of us do, but let's start with John. John, what do you have going on? And what's and final
I'm gonna
thoughts?
be in New Hampshire next weekend doing a seminar at Nostros Gym. I'll have some announcements on that in my Instagram and other feeds coming up this week, so you can learn more about that. But yeah, if you guys are interested in learning some violence, come out to one of my seminars or talk to your gym owner. If you own a gym, reach out and book something. I can come out and show you a thing or two.
I like that one.
All right, the dog walker himself, Ryan. What you got going on, and final thoughts?
What do I not? Well, first, final thoughts. Like this stuff, it's a little more academic than usual. That's fine. You just kind of internalize it as best you can, keep it in the back of your mind, and then you'll see a situation if it applies, and you're like, oh, okay. It's kind of like how I tell you to absorb 48 Laws of Power. As far as the things, Praxeology Volume 3, absolutely crushing it. We're still top 10 in like journaling, which is great because it's like a nice Reader's Digest of field reports of guys. Volume 4 is going to come out in the summer, but for now, just enjoy that one. End of the month, I've the 3rd edition of Fuck Files. So I've redone the soft cover, I've redone the hard cover, I've added the redacted 13th chapter. So it's all new content in there. It's almost like a new book. And I'm releasing under a different pen name, R.A. Stone, to separate the fiction stuff from the nonfiction stuff. And that's going to be end of the month as a prelude to the Dog Walker. This fucking thing. Oh, you guys know at the end of my books, I fucking hate reading them. After the 6th read, I'm like, I fucking hate this book. I never want to see it again. I still read this fucking thing. It's my book and I'm enjoying it. I'm like, who wrote this? This guy's all right. I wish I could do that. Yeah. Nick
is it because it's fiction?
Yeah, well, probably because it's fiction, but I don't know. I just like saying it more as in like I stopped hating myself.
Yeah,
it feels
you
more
start
like
developing that narcissism, right? You're like,
there
fuck this guy's great.
Stephen King. He's become
This
Stephen
is like,
King.
Yeah, this is the opposite of 100,000 H-1B visas as a salesperson.
Awesome.
But no, honestly, it's really good. Yeah, the pre-sales already are crushing. And I'm getting in like top 100 already, and they haven't even been out yet. So the pre-sales for Kindle are there until February 14th, and then the paperback and the hardcover have been released simultaneously. Audiobook will coming in a couple months after. The Orion 2 channel finally got through all of the checkpoints. Things are going well. I just put out Way of the Gun, which I'm surprised more people don't know about this movie.
Dude, I forgot about that movie until I saw your video about that. I go, oh shit, that was a great movie.
Yeah, all-star cast, the greatest shootout ever. It's like what do they call him? Not Bonnie and Clyde, the Sundance Kid. It's that movie redone.
Butch Cassidy.
For Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid for modern audiences. It's got everybody in there. You're like, Sarah Silverman gets punched in the face a lot right at the start. So right at the beginning, it's like, hey, you're going to like me. And I'm like, yes, I will. And then beyond all that, it's just, I guarantee I've done so much. I'm probably missing something right now, but that's the big stuff anyway.
Praxeology Volume 4.
Volume 4 is out in the summer. Volume 3 is out now. Volume 3 is good. Put it in the back of your toilet on a basket so people can stop flicking on their phone when they're on the toilet. They can actually have some good Reader's Digest toilet reading. For dog walkers,
a little
just
extra far away so the piss droplets don't fall in it. Have some respect on the name, you know. Like,
yeah, no piss droplets, please. And this one, it's good. Like if you liked Delicious Tacos, if you liked Devin Arikins, Theft of Fire, it's not those books, but it's in that caliber of reading for men. Everybody's bitching that nobody makes books for men anymore. Men don't read books. Well, prove me wrong by showing me this won't be a piece of shit at the sale. So that's it for me. Oh, and no, it's politics. Fuck it. Enjoy.
Fuck Canada.
I was about to, but I'm like, we're already having it hard enough.
Aww.
Oh, you got some stuff coming down the pipe, or you just you're about to release the audiobook?
Dude, I'm hustling. I'm trying to hustle as fast as Ryan, but I just fucking can't keep up with that guy. Speaking of which, so go back to his fucking Orion channel, right? Like he puts out these trailers, and I'm like, fuck, I remember that movie, and it makes me want to go back and watch all these movies. He's giving me all these ideas to go back and watch these.
They should be paying. They should be paying Ryan these old studios.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, I get that because like, movies suck now, right? Movies suck now, and so Ryan brings up this old stuff that I might have seen once in passing, or I've seen it 1,000 times, and I'm like, oh fuck, I want to go see that again. So fuck you, Ryan, for doing that. Heartfelt. So I have a new book. It just dropped on paperback and hardcover yesterday. Get Her to Fuck You Again. Speaking of fucking Ryan, okay, Ryan. I just did a second pass through Dread this past 2 weeks. I was listening to it on audio. If you guys love Dread, my book is going to be an excellent compendium to it. I don't talk about we talk about similar things, but I don't talk about it from this perspective of Dread. But if you have those 2 books and you're trying to turn things around in your relationship, you're going to do okay. It's going to give you the best fucking chance you have at doing that. And then if not, you're going to be the most attractive guy possible, and you're going to find a better woman. So either way, you're going to come out on top with these 2 books. And then the audio version, I just finished editing the last chapter on Thursday night and submitted it to ACX. So ACX is, it takes 10 business days for them to approve it, but that's going to be good. I have Thor's book. Thor's latest book is done. I told Thor that I was going to help him format it. So I'm going to start working on that tomorrow. And I'm going to write a foreword for that book.
God, I feel lazy. Jesus Christ. Everyone's busting their ass.
Working my fucking ass off.
And we're not even Mexican.
I get it.
Working my ass off over here. Even though we're supposed to work smarter, not harder. I'm working my fucking ass off. And then the coaching business is doing really good. If you guys read the book and you need help applying the information, definitely book a free call with me by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. I had a coaching call on Friday morning, which I thought was great, right? I love getting these guys feedback after they've been with me for a while. And this guy, and I never even thought to have him do this, but he's actually measuring how much sex he's getting, right? Since he started working with me, the sex has doubled. And then he's got a 30% uptick in enthusiasm. And I just thought that was the best fucking feedback ever. I'm like, well, don't stop now, man, because a lot of guys start getting to that place and they think, oh, hey, I've reached some kind of magic finish line. No, the work never stops. You got to keep fucking going, or else in 3 months from now, you're going to be back in the same position. So don't take your foot off the gas. But that's all. Oh, and then Monday, because I just finished Ryan's book again. I've been going through the different types of captains that Ryan talks about. So we're going to be talking about type 2 captains on Monday. So I'm promoting the shit out of Ryan's stuff because fuck that guy. He's so fucking smart. But
all right.
Get a lot of value out of his work.
I hate when people call me smart. It's like you're just asking me to be lazy. Fuck you too.
That's my plan.
Elon's smart. Look what he fucking said. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thor, you're kind of above all of us because you just got out of surgery and you're just here adding points and all that stuff. Like, pretty impressive. What do you got going on besides being immortal?
It's not all it's cracked up to be, but it is something. I did have brain surgery to remove my tumor again. It had grown back rather rapidly. That's neither here nor there. There's some good news with it. The good news is they were able to get in there with minimal damage and get it out. So I'm still facing the traumatic brain injury from the surgery, which is the hard part of recovery. They said probably going to be down pretty hard for a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, I got to say, Paul, Ryan, Aaron, John, Nuke, you guys are so inspirational to me. Things that you're rolling on all the time, especially these book writers. It's amazing. I was fortunate to have most of my book roughly drafted, and Paul is helping me format it for Amazon. And that's super useful because one of the problems with the surgery is it's increased my level of dyslexia on the computer and the phone, making it really difficult to text and to type and to copy and paste without closing windows and losing all of my information. So thank you so much, Paul, publicly for what you have offered to help me with at least getting this partially ready for ACX uploads. That's usually one of the most difficult things to do because everything is dependent on how you upload it, the number of words, the size of the book, the cover, all that stuff. So that was very useful to get out. If anybody's wondering what the book's titled, it is in the encyclopedia series. It will be called The Superhero Inside. I think you guys will like it. When I was doing my research, it leans heavily on Nietzschean tenets. And you'll be surprised that that guy Nietzsche was probably quite red-pilled for his age. And there is a kind of a gasping coincidence that's going on with Nietzsche, the German philosopher. The man died of brain cancer. Pretty wild, huh? Maybe there's something to that stuff.
Well, you're not going to die of that.
Not gonna.
You're gonna die from a jealous husband or some shit.
Yes. But how wild! And when I was looking at him, his dad was a professor of philosophy. His dad died of the same thing. Fucking crazy, man. Maybe it was just a wild coincidence. I'm sitting here doing my research. I'm like, what does that say? What the hell? Why am I thinking about these things? And he passed from supposedly the same damn illness that I have. Well, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to break that chain. So we definitely got it out. It was very much the same size as before. But the surgeon said that something interesting happened. You can see the size because I tattooed over the first one. That was the size the tumor came out. And I'm still cognizant. And they were very happy with my abilities after surgery. And the team came in and they said, we got it. We could actually identify by sight the cancer we could remove. Now, that doesn't guarantee that there's not other cancer cells. But what they noticed, and they told me that was unusual, is that in the rest of the void, I had started to regrow brain. Actual brain tissue was regrowing in the void.
So you're actually Wolverine now.
That's pretty crazy. And they're like, not just glial cells, but neurons. And I had been doing with Paul a whole lot of affirmations and some musical affirmations and some things around that. And I've been using an electroencephalogram to try to get myself into theta state in order to imagine this neuroplasticity occurring. And I was talking to the docs about it, and they're like, really? You got to tell us what you're doing, because that void is pretty large and it's starting to fill in with brain tissue, actual brain tissue, not cancer. And so I'll be getting with them on the 7th to maybe get another MRI and talk about that. But thank you, Paul, for just that little bit we talked about. I think made a huge difference. And then using the EEG to get into that theta state and flow state is very useful. Guys, Paul is very underrated when it comes to this believing stuff. And I would use them for sure. Anyways, come and see us on the Dragon Ship, guys. Appreciate it.
It's unfortunate that my woo-woo Wednesday episodes were so unpopular that I had to sort of combine them in with the Frame Fridays. But there's some shit to that. You know, there's something to this stuff.
There actually is. It's and you know, I've known that for a while because my brother Vidar, who is now on the Dragon Ship, was a big believer in that. And so I've had some knowledge, but you kind of really inspired me with it. I said, okay, man, we got nothing to lose. Let's get at it. I have proof now. That's pretty amazing. So we'll just get past the swelling. The swelling is what really causes the issues right now with the dyslexia, and it's starting to go down. So the prognosis is good for some recovery for sure. And maybe even completely eradicating it. I'm sure.
That brain tissue coming back is going to create a good positive feedback loop for you.
It is. And I actually have a caretaker right now, a living caretaker for the week and maybe longer to assist myself while I recover and with the wife. So I'm in a good place right now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being here. I'm very impressed. Now I feel extra lazy. Cappy, what you got going on besides I don't know what house project are you working on now?
None.
Or
It's been 4 months
you're in
since the
Vegas,
house
right?
project. Yep, I'm in Vegas. I am at cruising altitude, and so now I've had the time freed up. I'm about halfway done with my next book coming out called Zero World Problems. It's a spoof
I get
on-
it. I'm lazy.
What?
I'm lazy. I get it.
Well, it's when you get to be my age, you'll develop a work ethic. Anyway, yeah, just a new book would be coming out. I hate to say in 2 weeks, but if uninterrupted, I could get it done within the month. And it's going to be about economic standards of living in a post-materialist world. So that would be very philosophical and bypass a lot of the materialistic bullshit you don't need. Otherwise, up until the 7th, my minimalism course is open on Teachable, Achieving Minimalism Theory and Practice. I do that every year minimum. So people get their financial shit together. It is $500 with the tax. And I don't give a fuck that it's that expensive because you all spend your money on stupid ass shit. So if you want to kick in the nuts that makes you actually maybe get your financial shit together, Achieving Minimalism Theory and Practice. And otherwise, today I'm going to binge on Venture Brothers and do jack fuck all shit.
I love
Nice.
it.
Led Zeppelin is the
Perfect.
best band in the world.
All right. Jack, what you got cooking?
New
Final
Substack.
thoughts?
New Substack was released this morning. Final thoughts, very simple. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Learn to play the game. That's it. New Substack,
All
never apologize to women, with a little twist in there. So if you're interested, please go check that out. I would appreciate it. Oh, and I'm going to go off on a members-only stream in a moment and build this beauty.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right. I personally follow the Substack. I am about 33% done with my series of articles, which will later be rolled into a book. I have nothing else to add. I think these fine gentlemen have said everything we needed to say about this topic. Play the game, be intelligent, work smarter, not harder, but like work hard, but in the right direction, basically. And yeah, we'll be fine, guys. I promise you. No matter how many infinity race that shall not be no longer mentioned on this podcast, they import, you will figure it out somehow, right? Like Ryan's about to move to North Dakota with Cappy. He figured it out.
South Dakota.
South Dakota. Same thing.
Wow.
It's the
Wow.
No,
same
it is.
thing.
It is not. Paul, is Wyoming the same as Colorado?
Fuck no.
All right. It's okay,
Our
Nuke.
fat women are less fat here.
That's all right. I understand, Nuke. You're a Confederate. You don't understand the northern states. That's okay. That's all right.
If you drop me anywhere in Texas, I'll be like, I know exactly within a 100-mile radius where I'm at, or within a 25-mile radius where I'm at. If you do that anywhere above Texas, I'm like, am I in Kansas or Oklahoma or Colorado? I don't know.
We ain't in Kansas anymore, Tadashi.
No. But anyways, guys, thanks for coming. And to the guys who watched it, thanks for your time. Catch you next time. Bye.
Doodles.